Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Nedarim, page Lamed Beis. We're going to begin on Lamed Beis Amud Aleph, about 5 lines from the top. We've been learning Agadic teachings regarding the mitzvah of bris milah. So Darash Rabbi Yehuda bar Bizna, B'shashnis Rashel Moshe Rabbeinu min Hamilah. And we discussed this already on yesterday's daf. Not that he was really so lax, but again, it was a sakana to do the bris and then immediately travel in this way. Bo afachema, so there was anger and wrath that came. Ubaluhu, and it swallowed him. V'shira menu ela raglav. Literally, the only thing that was left was the feet. But on this, the Ran says this is really a lashon saginar. It's makam hamila, that he was completely absorbed and captured, except the only thing exposed was the makam milah, which was clear that that was where his mistake was. Miyad v'tikach siparet sar, so his wife took a rock, v'tichas es arlas bena, and she cut the arla of her son. Miyad v'yiraf mimenu, and immediately afterwards they removed themselves. Now, af and chema typically are referring to character traits, but this really embodies that of like demons, if you will, that they swallowed him up. That is what it's referring to in this context. Now, hargan. So Moshe wanted to kill them for having harmed him. That he wanted to, again, involved in to smote af and chema, and to forsake chema. That actually he did kill chema. Shnemer chema ainli. What do you mean? But it says ki garti mipnei ha'afa chema, that I'm afraid because of af and chema. So he didn't actually kill that guy, kill it. Rather, che chema havoy. So one shot is there's 2 chemas. So one chema he did kill, the other one he didn't. Ve'emos ema gunda de chema. It's an army of malachim. It says Rashi chayil shaloi ihu gufi nerag. So he himself he killed. However, there was still his army of angels that still remained. Fine. Tanya Rabbi Omer Gadayla Mila is so great. She'en lecha mishas asik b'mitzvahs k'Avram Avinu. We know that there was really no one as great as Avram Avinu in mitzvah performance. V'lo nikra tamim el Shem Mila. But Avraham was given the status called tamim, of perfection, only once the bris took place. Shnamar his halal chafanim v'yisamim. And it's written that in the brisi beinecha, there will be a covenant between me and you. That bris milah is keneged kol Torah kula. Shnemer ki al pi adavar mo'el v'gaimer. Fine. Davar acher gedol milah. Why is milah so great? She'amole milah. That if it wasn't for milah, when the skam shemayim ba'aretz, the heavens and the earth would not have been created. And we saw this before, which we'll elaborate what that means again. Shenemer imul barisi yom v'layla v'gaimer. So it could mean the notion of the purpose of Shemayim v'aretz is the perfection of humanity, and therefore that's the idea. A man is not born perfect, but it shows that he has a need to perfect himself. Greatest Torah, not Milah. Shilmoli Torah in the sky Shemayim v'aretz Shnemer. So is it Torah or is it Milah? When Hashem said to Abraham, that you're perfect, he was overtaken with an element of fear. He said, Shemi Yeshli Davar Maguna, maybe there's something wrong. Something wrong with me. However, once he heard this, then he felt more at more at ease. Okay. The pasuk then says, "V'yayitzi aiso hachutza," that Hashem took him outside. Amru l'fanav Rebbeinu his talkalti b'mazal shali. He said, I would like to see my mazel, my constellation, so I'll be able to know what is my future, what will be. Mainly ela ben echad. So Amru lo, say, it says ve'eni roy l'hoy ben on the side. I'm not fit to have a child. So Amru lo, say it's tagninus shalcha. Remove yourself from these astrologers that tell you your potential and a limited potential. Ein mazel Yisrael. There is no mazel. In other words, you have the ability to create your own destiny. Which again is the notion of a bris milah, is to be able to change, to improve, and to strive to become a better person. So things are not fixed. Things are not set. It's in your control to be able to change your destiny. Anyone who improves himself and makes themselves tamim, Kadosh Baruch Hu masmi imoy, so Hashem does the same. Shnemer im chasid tischasad. If you act pious, then Hashem will treat you as such. Im gavar tamim titamom. Amar Yeshua koil ha-mesamim atzmai shah oimedeslai. If a person is a tamim, so then the time will stand for them. Says the Ran, she'oil gedula. You're going to go up in greatness. If you're someone that improves themselves, you're constantly working to improve yourself, so it makes sense that you're going to end up becoming great. You'll see the fruit of your labor. Shnemer hisal chilfanai vehi samim uksiva isalav haman goyim. Then Abraham became a leader of nations. Rabbi kol nachash lo nachash. Any person who's involved in being a nachash, to try to know the future, and especially an individual who is concerned, says Rashi, Klimer, haroidif achrei hamnachamim. You go after like fortune tellers, lo nachash, lacharav roidfim nechushim, the whole hakopid kapti b'hadei. Basically, that if you are afraid of your future, and that's why you constantly want to know, what is my future? What is my future? So then you're going to end up building this anxiety, and it'll end up being something to be afraid of for your future. Shnemer ki lo nachash b'Yaakov. It says lamed aleph, not lamed vav. So how do you read this pasuk? It says v'ha b'lamed aleph ksiv, right? Lo ki lo nachash b'Yaakov. There is no nachash for Yaakov. Rashi says the mashmid ein roid v'nacharav. So ela mishum mida keneged mida. It's mida keneged mida, says Rashi. The mida she'adam maidin ba maidin loy v'nafik mikra. So it's just telling you that if this is how you behave, then this is going to be what you get back. So if you live a life of anxiety and fear, what your future is going to be, then in fact your future is going to be bleak, because you're constantly having these negative, pessimistic thoughts, and it's going to end up having a negative future. You'll have a negative future because of it. Tani ahava bereid the Rabbi Zeder kol adam sheina menachesh machnisin oiso b'machitza shepil malchi asheres ein yichon lechanes b'saycha. And if you're a person that doesn't concern themselves in the future, so then you're going to be in the mechitza of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shnemer kilo nachash b'Yaakov kesem yisov v'gomer. Amar Rabbi Elazar neiman nedash Avraham Avinu v'nishtabdu banu v'Mitzrayim osayim v'eser shanim. What happened that the Jewish people were enslaved for 210 years? What did Avraham Avinu do that was so bad that they deserve this? So the Gemara gives 3 answers, which is going to end up being TB8. One answer is Mipnei she'asa angaria b'tamid chachamim. Since he brought Tamid Chachamim to fight, which was Bittul Torah, to fight the 4 kings against the 5 kings, so he didn't just go himself, because with Lot being captured, so he brought a bunch of Tamid Chachamim. So because he had them do that, so therefore because of that, we went to Mitzrayim. Shnamar v'yarikas chanicha v'yolidi beso. Shmuel Omer Bnei Shehifriz Al Midaso Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He questioned Hashem, as we're going to see here. He was asking, how do I know that the Bnei Israel will be Yerush Eretz Israel? So the fact that he had a lack of faith, so this was the punishment of going to Mitzrayim. Rabbi Yochanan Omer Shehifrish Bnei Adam Milachanes Tachas Kanfei Ashchina. He actually held back people from being able to be Megayer. Why? So, because Shnemer Tenli Nefesh Rechush Kachloch, that he said after he conquered, he said, you know what? Give me the Nefesh and the Rechush Kachloch, and the Rechush you can take for yourself. So the fact is, he had the opportunity to be able to, this is what he was told, so he could have taken the people and been Megayer those individuals. So the fact that he didn't, so therefore, that's what he's held accountable for that. We look in this Ran, Keish Yomi Li'Yakol Yisrael Ma Poel Kel, Shemalchi Sharis Yishol Yisrael. The Malchi Sharis asked the Yisrael, Ma Poel Kel, Afish Matayich She'enin Menachshin, since they don't focus on the future, Machnis and Oisel Mechitza. So they were able to go close to Hashem, even a place where Malchei Sharis can't enter. The near Be'enai, says the Ran, since you don't go after these sorcerers, these people who are future tellers, fortune tellers, Leida Hasidais, El Botech B'Kadosh Baruch Hu Mishum Hachi Kadosh Baruch Hu Megalu Razi Oilam She'enu Galuyim Malchei Sharis. So since you don't pursue looking for things which are hidden, so Hashem is going to reward you by putting you in this most hidden of places. Fine. If you look at this Ran, Shenemar Tenli and Nefesh, but Abraham Avinu Nasnum Loi, and Abraham gave these people to the king. The Ilu Ichvan Atzman, if he kept them for himself, then they could have been Megayer. So he had them stay with Melch Sadaim, who was no tzaddik. And he could have instead got them to become from it. Of course, at the end, we know that the city of Sodom was destroyed. Fine. So these are the answers to question 8. He made Talmud Chacham go fight for him to war. He questioned Shammai, asking, B'ma Rishena, how will I know that the Bnei Israel will be Yerush? He asked for a simon, and I only answered 2. Didn't remember this third one, which is that he did not bring them back tachas kanfei Ashchina. B'yarkes chanichav yolidi beso. So Rabbi Omer shaharikon b'Torah. These are people that became empty in Torah, which means he's held accountable because of the bittul Torah that he caused by them having to fight. Shmuel Omer sharikon b'zahav. That what it means is that he gave them, says the Ran, Shenaslahem Zahav Harbe Kadei Sheelchu. He might bribe them, they should come, he gave them a lot of money. Shmona Asar Shalosh Meyais was 318 soldiers. Some Rabbi Bar Abba Eliezer Keneged Kulam. Eliezer was opposite all of them. Ikad Yami Eliezer who de Chushbane Hachihavi. So this is a famous Vart. Eliezer, the numerical value, the Gematria is 318. So either that means that he was as strong as they were, or it means that Taka, that was the person that he took. Ben Gimel Shanim. When Avram was just 3 years old, Hikar Avraham es Boidoi. He already recognized Hashem. Shnemer Ekev Asher Shem Avram Bekoili. So it says Ekev, which we know is the gematria of 172. So Chushbani Mei B'Shivim Mitrei, because Avraham lived until he was 175. He really could have lived to 180. He died 5 years early, so he wouldn't have to say Esav go to Tarvas Ra, as Rashi brings down Parshas Toldos. So the point is that he was an Akev. He was listening to the Torah and the mitzvahs for 172 years, which means if he died at 175, he started when he was 3. Question TA7. Ma marumas begematria shel Akev asher shama Avraham bekoili hasatan Avraham. So Akev may have a shiva mishtayim shana shehikar as bayroi. And the other gematrias we didn't do yet. Okay, but at least Akev we did. Fine. Vait in the Gemara. The Amar Rabbi Bar Abba, as we continue to Lamed Beis and Beis, and this is going to be the other part of TA7. Ha-satan b'chushbene tlas mea v'shitin v'arba. It's a numerical value of 364, says the Ran. V'yamosachama, in the summer calendar, the solar calendar, Shin Samachay is 365. Imkain, Ikachad Yom Delesli Rishusa Lihishat Lashatan Hani Yom Kippurim. The one day that the Satan doesn't have the ability to really do much is on Yom Kippur. Of course, there's a Gemara in Yuma. V'yamar Rabbi Bar Abba Ksiv Avram Ksiv Avraham. So B'tchila Hemlichul Kadosh Baruch Hu Al Masayim V'Arbayim U'Shloi Shevarim. Originally, Avram had shlita out of his 248 limbs. He had control over 243 of them. But with Saif, afterwards, Himlichu al Masayim v'Arboim U'Shmoina, the Avarim, all 248. So what were the 5 that he gained control? Ve'Elohin, Shtei Anayim, his 2 eyes, Shtei Oznaim, his 2 ears, V'Rosh HaGviyah, and his Aver. On this, the Ran says, Av Einav, the aznav shel adam enim reshusai. The eyes and ears are not really in his control. Shari al karcho yir be'enav uva aznav yishma. Even if you can't help it, you're walking around, you'll see something. Even if you don't want to hear certain things, your ears automatically will hear it. Once he had a mila, says the Ran, himlicha kadosh baruch hu, that he was only able to hear and see mitzvos. What does the following pasuk mean? Ir katana is a small city, va'anashim and people v'gomer. Ir katana zehaguf. This is actually alluding to the human body. Va'anashim ba ma'at elu evarim. So this is referring to the limbs. Uvo ileha melech gadol. So it was this great king, Wasabavaiso, and surrounded it. Ze Yetzahara. Uvana Oleha Mitzaidim. And they built the siege, the Charamim. El Avainais. Umatzaba Ish. There was a person who was miskin, who was poor, V'chacham. Ze Yetzer Tov. So the Yetzer Tov is miskin v'chacham. Umilat hu esair. And he saved the city, V'chachmaso, with his wisdom. Zu tshuva masim tovim. So the Yetzer Tova can get you to do tshuva and to do masim tovim to change. The adamu zachar es ish hamiskein, and this person will not remember this danger. Hahu de b'shas Yetzer hara leis dem madkirle leYetzer Tov. That the time of the Yetzer hara we don't recognize the Yetzer Tov. Hachachma ta'oiz. So the wisdom will endure with wisdom more than 10 rulers. So what is this? So chachma ta'ayis l'chacham zu tshuva masim tovim. So tshuva masim tovim is even more powerful, more potent miasar shalitim than 10 great powerful leaders on our body, namely our Shtei Anayim are 2 eyes, Shtei Oznaim are 2 ears, Shtei Yadayim are 2 hands, or Shtei Raglayim are 2 feet, Rosh HaGviyah upeh, the aver as well as one's mouth. Amrav Zachari Mishem Rabbi Lezer Bikadosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu Loitzi Kahuna Mishem. Now Hashem wanted originally that Kahuna should come directly from Shem, which is Noach's son. However, why? Because it says he was a kohen, he was a kohen. So it sounds like that he should have been a kohen. Kivan shehikdim berachas Avram berachas hamakoim. Hamishim shenemar who kohen el elyon. Kivan shehikdim berachas Avraham berachas hamakoim. However, when he incorrectly gave the bracha to Avraham before he recognized Hashem, Hoitzia mi Avraham. It was taken away from Shem, and it was given to Avraham. Shnamar Yivarchehu Yomer Baruch Avram El Elyon Kinishim Baaretz. Uvarach El Elyon, which is referring to Hashem. So first he mentions Baruch Avram, and then only afterwards he said Baruch El Elyon. So therefore he did the wrong thing. He should have first blessed Hashem, and then only afterwards Avram. Therefore it was removed from him. Armul Avraham v'chi magdim in berchas eved leberchas kaino. So he basically stood up for Hashem. Miyad nasnul Avraham, because Avraham stood up and recognized that he shouldn't have gotten the blessing first. So the brachas kahuna was given to Avraham. Shneman Hashem la'daini shev liyamini, to dwell to my right. Ad oshis oivecha hadoim uraglecha, until your enemies create a stool for your feet. Uvasik uvasre, and afterwards ksiv nishba Hashem v'yinachem atakoin l'oilam al divarti malchit tzedek al dibur shel malchit tzedek. It's referring to the words of malchit tzedek. Behind it, who koyin? It says he's a koyin. Who koyin in zaro koyin, which means that he was a koyin, but that was it. Question 10. Malchit tzedek koyin shalim mihu malchit tzedek umadua hu koyin in zaro koyin. So this was actually Shem. Malchit tzedek over there is actually referring to Shem, the son of Noach, because he mentioned berachas Avraham before in berachas Amakum. Question 10. So nitla kahuna mazarai. So therefore the kahuna was taken away from him. Hadin alach arba nedarim, hadin alach arba nedarim, hadin alach arba nedarim. We continue now the fourth parak. Ein bein hamuder hanam mechaberoi, umuder himenu meichel. Someone who makes an isser straight across to this person to just food. El dorisas haregel v'kilam sheinoisim mehem oichel nefesh. Walking through their property, and also having vessels in which are not oichel nefesh related, whether you could use those. Ad kan.